This episode today is brought to you by F&X. I want to talk to you guys about something. As some of you guys may know, I'm back in the gym. I go early in the morning, particularly around 4:30, 5:30 in the morning. I do my 6 miles, and on certain days, I like to get my core in, my upper body, my lower body, get that taken care of throughout the week. Now, as you may expect, I'm a little bit tired, a little bit down. I need help with that recovery process. So why not add this? Is Restart AM Protein Blend. In this protein, it comes with nutrients that is going to help you in your recovery process. For example, when it comes to cognition, to help improve alertness and attention and also relieve your anxiety, probiotics to help with your improve your gut and health immunity. Like I said, we like to focus on that recovery process. Let's start today at the gym, and once we're done, let's restart it, get the day knocked out ahead of us. Go ahead, add that to your shopper cart, and while you're at it, don't forget to add some workout gear. Fill up your shopper carts, and when you do, the promo code is BTSI for 15% off. Again, BTSI for 50% off at checkout. It's time. A lot of people, when I made an announcement that I was doing a show, they was looking at me side eye, and they saying, "Man, they ain't never high value ain't never gonna end." Blah 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 blah. I was like, wait till y'all see what I have in store. If that's the case. So, why me, of all people, according to who you talk to, why do I think this is the end of high value? Well, here's why. I do think the waters got muddy. I do believe there are people who have give their opinion and their thoughts on this concept where their ideologies was not asked for because they don't qualify to speak on it. Matter of fact, they don't have mentors to educate them on this topic, but yet they think they should be able to speak on it. And just reminding people, if you want to, excuse me, if you want to join the show, link will be dropped upon request. I'm not dropping the link because, like I said, there's a lot of research that I did pertaining to this, and I try to simplify it as much as possible. Because, ladies and gentlemen, this is the commencement of the end. I'm just starting it. I'm gonna let you guys do what you gotta do to finish it. Now, let's get started. Here's one reason why this isn't going to be the end of this high value. And what I mean by it is it's this public conversations that a lot of people have been having regarding high value. Hey, Brenda, how you doing? When it comes to this high value man conversation, ladies and gentlemen, this is a concept that was initiated back in the 80s. And not only was it initiated back in the 80s, it was never meant to be talked about publicly. I will go as far as to say that you don't talk about this, and I'm gonna play a clip from my interview with Angry Man of how I said you don't even have this conversation in the barbershop. You don't have it on the basketball court. You don't have this conversation. No, this is not that type of public conversation, like at all. But the fact that it was brought to the forefront, and you see all the people who have an opinion on this, and you sit back and look like, if this was a exclusive club, why would I want to be a part of it? Based off of who you have being a representation of it. And I'm talking about the masses. There's a exclusivity. Yeah, being high value is being exclusive. Excuse me. And the fact that you have some unqualified people who believe they are high value is what inspired this video. We need to end this high value conversation publicly. So let's get started. For us to end it, I think we need to provide some type of understanding to it. You got to understand something, so that way when you get the concept, you'll understand why this needs to come to an end. Now let's get started. What is a high value? Matter of fact, those in the chat, go ahead and just type out, what do you think high value means? Now, high value man, high value woman. Yes, there's a high value woman. We'll get to that later. What do you think high value is? Once you start asking those questions amongst you and your friends, you're going to get a lot of different answers, or you might not get no answers at all, because a lot of people just don't know at the end of the day. So I said to myself a long time ago, to find out what high value mean, let's find out what does the word high mean, and let's then find out what really the word value means. So yes, I had to do that, ladies and gentlemen. It's called I had to dissect each word into what it really means, because all words have meaning. So you have to figure out what it is to add context to what it means to be a high value man, a high value woman, something that is important to you. That's one definition that I've been hearing. I also hear it a lot. But let's get into it. I have to break. High has multiple definitions to it. When it comes to adjectives, high could be of great vertical extent. It could be great or greater than normal in quality, size, intensity. It could be great in rank, status, of importance. When it comes to of a sound or note, it can also mean having frequency at the upper end of the auditory range. Feeling euphoric, especially from the effects of drug and alcohol. That's a nice way of saying being high, basically. Unpleasantly strong smelling, in particular of food, beginning to go bad. Of a vowel produced with the tongue relatively near the plate. So when it comes, if I really have to stick to the adjective part, ladies and gentlemen, just to make sure we're not here all day, the third definition makes more sense. Great in rank, status, or importance. So let's put that to the side. Now, of course, when you go to the adverbs, there's three definitions: at or, to a considerable or specific height, highly, or at a high pitch. We don't care about that. And as far as a noun, a high point, level, of figure, notable, happy, or successful moment, or a high school, blah blah blah. So we'll scratch all of that. We will stick with the adjective. Third definition: high means great in rank, status, or important. Now let's get to value. That being a noun, what does that mean? The regarding that something is held to deserve the importance, worth, or usefulness. Usefulness of something. And of course, you got personal principles, standards, blah 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 blah. But let's fast forward. I think the first definition is about as accurate as it's going to get when it comes to the noun of value. The regard that something is held to deserve the importance, worth, or usefulness of value. So when it comes to high value, it's real simple. Now let's put these words together. It's high value. It's an adjective, and now put it together. The definition, honestly, let me do this. Okay. And I forgot I'm on my desktop, so this will be much more easier if I do it like this. Alright, perfect. When it comes to high value, here's what it really means. Oops, I forgot to press send. So, high value. Adjective now, great in rank, status, or importance regarding that something is held to deserve the importance, worth, or usefulness of something. So, ladies and gentlemen, congratulations. while everybody was pulling their hair out, trying to really figure out what does the word high value mean, all you have to do was just break down the words and just combine them. So there's your definition right there of what high value means. So you go back and look. Yes, you are. So when you guys go back and look at all these people who are high value, really high value, you now know this definition fits them to the T. Excuse me. Sorry. So congratulations. We finally got the definition of high value. Now, real simple. Now, what is the high value man? What is the high value woman?
Today's episode is brought to you by video. So let's get right into it. As some of you guys may know, during my transition from one place to this place, I lost a lot of my merchandise and I had to replace a lot of things that was in my previous house. One thing that did not make the trip was my watch. In some way, shape, or form, I cannot find my tribal necklace anywhere. I blame the 5-year-old. So we're gonna have to fix that. So let's go on the website and see what do I spot with my big old eyes. Now this is getting added to the collection. Ladies and gentlemen, Luxuria. Do you see how beautiful this thing looks? Oh no, Lord. Oh, this is nice. Appearance is suitable for all occasions. A forward-thinking but traditional design, rooted in traditional with a modern, contemporary look for men. This is not a bad looking watch. This is extremely nice. I like the stainless steel look of all of it. This is luxury now. This is nice. I'm getting this. And yes, I'm getting back my tribal necklace. It looked good on me, my wife liked how it looked on me, and that's all that matters. So I'm getting this back. Well, video is a place where you can update your wardrobe, you can add accessories, and yes, there's something for the ladies as well. You got scarves, you got purses, you got glasses, you got some nice accessories, and even just something to enhance your good looks. So please go to a video. The link is located in my link tree links. Click it, fill up your shopping carts. When you do, the promo code is BTSI for 50% off. Again, BTSI for 50% off at checkout.
Now, before we get to the men part, because that requires me to play a video, let me make sure I have that video set up good. Let's get to the high value woman part. A lot of people heard me say this before. Salute to Kev, and we're going to bring up Kevin throughout this show because, I'll wait for that time to come. Because there is something called a high value woman. The problem is when you hear the word high value woman brought up, people equate the traits to finances. Like they have to be making a certain money to be considered a high value woman. And ladies and gentlemen, anytime you hear any brother say that, you know that they do not belong in this conversation of high value at all. They need to be on a sideline. Which, we'll get to that in a minute. So, what are the traits of a high value woman? Before we get to the men, what are the traits of a high value woman? And let me try this again. Well, let me do this. It's real simple. Attractive, according to Kev, and I had to fact check this with a couple of people, and they said this is about as accurate as it's going to get. A couple of things that could be added to it. Attractiveness is one of the traits of being a high value woman. And of course, attractiveness is subjective depending on who you talk to. So let's continue. You have to be appealing. You have to have a confident character. You must exercise a great level of discernment. And ladies and gentlemen, if you've been listening to my marriage series, that is one of the traits that should be going into a wife anyway. So, oops. So, comforting character, discernment. She needs to be disciplined. She needs to be enthusiastic. She needs to be exuberant. She needs to be loyal, and she needs to be very liberated. These are just the traits. These are the most common traits of high value woman that circumvents around these characteristics. Now, obviously, there could be more, but this is what it means to be a high value woman. Do you guys notice anything about finances or occupations on there? Because I don't. Matter of fact, to a high value woman, excuse me, to a high value man, that's extra. That's a plus. They don't have a problem with that, but that's not a requirement at all. Now, there are going to be some brothers that say, I need my wife to be making X amount of dollars. I need her to be chipping in on the bill. And look, that's perfectly fine. If that's what the plan you have for her to do, and she's willing to do that, cool, perfect. That's great. Just keep in mind, you're going to be minus that tag of high value. And worse things happened to you before. Nothing's going to hurt you. It's not going to kill you not to be considered yourself high value. It's okay. Life will go on. Life will continue to spin. But you cannot be dependent on her money and still consider yourself high value. That doesn't make any sense. So, if there's some brothers who disagree with that, ladies and gentlemen, keep in mind, just take a mental note, that person is not high value. That's just that simple. And that's why I said this is the commencement of the end of this high value conversation publicly, because you're going to realize there's some people who are partaking in this conversation who should not talk at all. So, that was for the woman. And it's easier to deal with them because, like I said, these traits circumvent amongst who you ask or whatever the case may be. Now, when it comes to the men, a lot of men is not going to like this video that I'm about to play. Ladies and gentlemen, during my one-on-one with the younger man, it's titled Watch the Throne. I brought up the high value conversation to him. And I also brought up my biggest gripe, my one legitimate gripe that I have with Kevin Samuels, God rest his soul. So, we're about to play that video right now.
This is probably the only thing I fought Kevin Samuels for. I heard about high value before I came on YouTube. I wasn't there in my life to even worry about that.
Yeah.
That was always supposed to be on a need to know basis. That was never meant for public consumption. That was not even meant for the barbershop. Now everybody is trying to find a way to be a high value person. What they try to do is add other qualifications to say I belong there.
Really, to be truthfully honest, when you start talking about high value, the real definition of it, you know, it's a criteria that most men are not going to meet ever in their lifetime.
Right.
That's the unfortunate thing. There's nothing shameful about being a working class man. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing shameful about being a dude that is an electrician, or, you know, these guys that we found out during the pandemic are essential workers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? No one, like during the pandemic or during times like that, the most valuable people aren't lawyers or executives or real estate moguls, or the most important people are the truck drivers, the garbage men, the electricians, the plumbers. If you had a leak, if you looked at your wall and your wall was wet because there was a leak in that wall, one of the pipes was leaking, I don't care how much of a handyman you are, you better not crack open that wall and think you're gonna fix that pipe by yourself. You better call a damn plumber. You know, call what I'm saying?
Expert. Yep.
Did you guys hear that? Did you guys hear that? Some people who may come up with the idea that they are high value may not be high value at all, because you have to think about all the characteristics that comes with being high value. And truth be told, that's not like, let's assume 10% of Americans are high value by our standards and or by the common six. So let's talk about that real quick. Now, when it comes to the common common six, it's real simple regarding this. Like I tell people, treat this as a entry level. That doesn't mean if you what's what I'm looking for. If you achieve it, you're already there. No, you just have to meet some of these requirements. Like for example, uh, I forgot how many months ago there was when Rollo Tomasi made that list about the fastest way to become high value, and one of it was getting a vasectomy. That was that was just trying to determine how bad did you really want to be high value. Now, and that's what we've been being a shock job. Now, when it comes to the six qualifications that Kev always give out, it's real simple. He says the same thing. Six figures. Put a star right there. We're going to get back to that in a moment. Second, length of time, 3 to 5 years. That's what he said. You got to do this 3 to 5 years. You can't make six figures 1 year, be like, hey, I'm high value. They're going to be like, hey, no, that could be a fluke. Come back in a couple years. Let's see if you're consistent with this. 3, group assessments by other high value men. 4, network. Can you network with other people? 5, visibility. How well known are you? 6, are you useful? Now, if you complete those 6, then sure. Welcome to the thank you for passing stage 1. You passed stage 1. Cool. Now, some people in this last 3 years will meet those qualifications and just stay there. And like, I'm cool here. But as you guys see, inflation has really changed the game up, especially when it comes to high value. Because keep in mind, let's talk about $100,000. And this concept started in the 80s. Do you guys know what it would have meant to make $100,000 in the 80s? Ladies and gentlemen, there's this grocery store in Texas called Randall's. It's still around. My dad used to be a shift leader there. My mom too as well. But that came later. My dad said, as a shift leader, you can pretty much live the life of luxury back then. Like, if I recall correctly, I think we got the house off of my dad being a shift leader at Randall's. And granted, he went out to different companies and did something better. But $100,000 in the 80s, y'all. You couldn't tell nobody anything back then. Now, why did I bring that up? We're only 26 days until 2024. What does $100,000 look right now? Now, you stay in Florida, Texas, or some other states in down south, $100,000 is pretty good money. Because like I tell people, you don't need to make 6 figures to live in Texas and raise a family. You don't. But if you go into other places, yeah, 100,000 is really not that much. So, matter of fact, so much so, I remember one time, Anton Daniels, to be exact, he said if you're not making $250 a year, he doesn't consider you high value. So right there, I realized there is levels to being high value. The Cabin 6 was just the entry level. After that, how much money are you making? You're stuck with making what is it? You're stuck making like $8,500 a month. How much is that? 88. And so yeah, that's 100,000. If you make $8,500 a month, yeah, that's pretty damn low on a scale of high value. Just to be exact, you make $8,500 a month in Texas, you're good. So the question is, with inflation and with the levels to it, things change, and that goes back to what Ingram was saying. Everybody, There's only a few men who could consider themselves high value if you equate all the traits to it. So, truth be told, ladies and gentlemen, the person that probably you think is high value may not be high value at all. Because I had to look up all the traits to being high value, and ladies and gentlemen, Angry Man is right. A lot of men are not going to meet those traits. It's feasible. I'm not going to say it's feasible. They have a chance to meet it. You have a puncher's chance, but to embody all of those things, no, not at all. You're never going to be truly high value based off of that.
Today's episode is brought to you by Brytn Smile. Now, you guys need to keep your mouths clean, keep your mouths white, and keep your mouths bright between dentist visits. I get it, I understand. So, here's where Brytn Smile come into play. Yes, good old Brytn Smile. Now, in this whitening kit, it comes with a multitude of things that you need. Starters, you're going to need a user manual on how to operate the devices that come with it. Next up, you have a shade chart to keep you posted on where your teeth fall on the chart. That is very beneficial. Also, these gel pens. Put the gel on each tooth. Do it correctly. Follow the manual. And, well, you know, we have a charger. It comes with a charger. I wonder why. That's right, an LED mouthpiece. This is very beneficial, y'all, as y'all can see. For the blue, it is on for 15 minutes. And once that is done, let's go purple, pink, whatever color you prefer to call it. Let's do that for 10 minutes. Go to Brytn Smile. The link is located in the description. Grab a kit, put in your shopping cart, and when you get to the checkout, the promo code is BTSI for 25% off. Again, BTSI for 25% off.
So again, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, this is another reason why this is the commencement of the ending of this high value conversation. That's why I was saying the public goes, because this needs to go back into the private matter. Matter of fact, the question I asked myself was, who determines the level of privacy when it comes to high value? And I remember I said to myself, the leader, typically the man, will determine the visibility and notoriety of the conversation when it comes to being high value. Meaning the men are the gatekeepers. The leaders are the gatekeepers. They determine how much of this conversation needs to be revealed to the unworthy, basically. How much of that needs to be shared. That's for them to determine, and for everybody else to follow suit. There are people on this side of YouTube who speaks that high value talk, but you know for a fact that's not them. And you know what? Let's get to the next part. Who publicized high value? Ladies and gentlemen, God rest his soul. It was Kevin. Like I said in that video, that's the only legitimate gripe that I have against Kevin Samuels. He should have never brought this high value conversation publicly. Let me put this back here. Yeah, he should have never brought this high value conversation publicly. Like I said in that video, I might have heard of the high value thing twice before 2020. And granted, I have high value men in my family. Doctors, lawyers, whatever. And I don't even much recall hearing that from them now that I think about it, but they embody what that is. And they also believe in a level of privacy. Like, they don't want to talk to anybody and everybody. Certain conversations got to stay amongst them, so they got to stay in the family. So when it comes to this level of high value and the conversation goes, the man will determine if that needs to be publicized or not, or they do talk about it, who needs to hear it, and what needs to be said. Gatekeepers, basically. This is the rare time where I think gatekeepers are totally necessary. So, as much as we miss Kevin Samuels, and we do, I really wish he never brought this conversation to the public. I have routine YouTube, not so much on Fanbase because I'm fairly still new to that platform, but definitely on Clubhouse. You definitely have a lot of people who think they're high value, and I look at them like, no, you're not. And some people will say, how can I determine what high value is? It's real simple. My mentors told me what it means to be high value. They have shown and proven what it means to be high value. And guess what? I'm a student who likes to learn. So I just want to throw that out there to whoever. I'm qualified to have a conversation, but regarding the Kevin Samuels, we miss him. He should have never brought this conversation to the public. Granted, it was the pandemic and whatever the case may be, and I don't fault him for what he did in his format of being a businessman. I just fault him for bringing that private conversation up because, like I said, the most dustiest dudes is having this conversation, and they should not have an opinion on it at all. Like, at fucking all. So, now the final the question is, why is it imperative for the secrecy of high value? It's important because most of these men, Illuminati is a childish word, so I'm not even because that will probably be the best way to explain it. But the reason why this is so important is because you don't want certain people affiliated with you. As far as the hard work and effort that you put in, whether you wanted to make that group or not, because of what you your dedication, it would be sad. It would be a tragedy to have somebody who has not put the effort in to say, "How about?" Case in point, when it salute to all my veterans. I remember one time, it was a police officer. He used to serve in the army. He got mad because somebody had some type of particular sticker on there, which means they served the war. They did such and something happened in combat, and when somebody talked to him about it, pressed him on it, the dude who had the sticker didn't know what to say, how to say, or whatever the case may be, and that almost went over. Blue. That I had to get it in between that one. You're not going to call yourself high value if you didn't put the work in. And if you didn't put the work in, we're going to see it. We see a lot of things. We're going to definitely see that. We're going to see if you're faking it. Or as Brenda say, false claiming. There's a lot of false claimers out here. I've been seeing it for the past 3 years. Going on 4. Because people want to be accepted. And they're willing to put any title on their name just to feel wanted. Like, no, we don't. They don't want you. And if you want to be part of them so bad, why don't you go put the same ethics, work ethics into your craft, into your job, into whatever, so you could be acknowledged as that. Because this is all for acknowledgement. And I think some of the brothers that claim to be high value when they're not is low self-esteem as well. So that's a double no-no. So, ladies and gentlemen, in closing, and don't go nowhere. We're still doing. We got last call, and I'm dropping the link right now because I have to make sure I get my full points across. Because, no offense, I love you guys, but had I let one of you guys up, you guys would have broke my concentration, and I would have been upset. In closing, this high value conversation, put it back to where it used to be. Definitely, it was never online. It was never done in public. Let the gatekeepers see the work that you put in and let them determine if you are worthy enough to be considered yourself high value. Yes, things it hurts, but you'll be all right. You're not a high value man. You're just not, and that's okay. You're still here. You're still breathing. You're still working. Just keep pushing it. But stop trying to be part of something that you're not qualified to be part of. So like I said, ladies and gentlemen, this is the commencement at the end of high value. So hopefully you guys do your due diligence and move forward from this one. All right.